We are off to a bad start. This is not good. Hi, I just sat down to start this. My camera's dying, it just started to blink. How long do you think we can go before we lose it? Hello. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Katie Wismer. I'm an author and an editor. All of my stuff is linked down below. We're currently doing daily vlogs while I try to finish book 11. I think today's day 8. Playlist is linked down below if you haven't seen the previous vlogs. You don't have to watch them, you could start here, but maybe go watch them. It's a Thursday. I've gotten 2 chapters done this morning that ended up being, this whole like section of chapters, I'm on chapter 12 now, has been so slow the past like 4 or 5. I've had to end up like moving things into previous chapters. After I get past this one, I think it's going to be a little bit quicker. This section just for whatever reason needed more work than I remembered. Although now that I've done all of these in a row and it like made my pace come to a screeching halt as I was spending like hours on a single chapter, now I have this skewed perception of the pacing of the book, and now I'm like second guessing everything. I'm like, damn, is this beginning really slow? And is there too much in here? Like now I'm second guessing everything. And I don't know if I like it. I hate everything right now. Which I know is my mood, which is why I'm not making any decisions right now. I think I need to go back to the beginning and read through this all again once I'm in a better mood, and we'll see. We've gotten 2 chapters done today. I want to get at least 1 more done, possibly more. It's still like early in the day. We got plenty of time. But yeah, we're in that really fun overthinking. Everything sucks. I hate this headspace right now, which is obviously just like ideal for getting work done. Like I said, my camera's gonna die, but we'll try and answer like a question or 2 before that happens. If you want a question answered in tomorrow's vlog, comment it on today's video. Someone asked about my makeup, which honestly I appreciated that because I have hated like everything that I've had for a while. I just got a bunch of new stuff because nothing was working for me. It's something I've been kind of like insecure about honestly in the last couple of years. Is like I feel like I've gotten, not that I've gotten bad, it's just like I haven't evolved. I've been doing the same thing for like 10 years and I don't feel like I'm very good at it. So anyway, the new stuff that I'm using currently for like my everyday stuff, I do really like. I'll link it all down below if you want to go like peruse. I use a lot of different stuff, but I've been through much trial and error. I've tried so many new products, and a lot of the stuff that's linked down there, it's the stuff that I liked back in college that I've gone back to, because everything new that I've tried since I haven't liked for the most part. Any plans for Nano or just writing it as it comes? I usually say no, because for the past couple of years Nano just like hasn't fit in with my publishing schedule. I say no and then I end up doing it anyway. I actually think NaNoWriMo is going to line up pretty perfectly with my work schedule, because if I'm planning to have this first book come out like late September and I want to get book 2 done really quickly after that, I'm hoping tentatively, like don't quote me on this, like a January release for book 2 around like November. Like I'm gonna be in crunch time, so I'm gonna be working on stuff. Ideally by November I'll have had a first draft of book 2 done. I'm already 20k into it, so I don't know, it might end up being like me, if I haven't finished by then, absolutely I'm gonna be writing that book. If I have finished it, I might be editing it, or I might be writing book 3. I don't know. November is gonna be a busy writing work month for me. We'll just have to wait and see what stage of the process I end up being in though. Since I mentioned the Luna and Lore box in the previous video, are they going to do the last 2 books in the series too? So if you missed out on these amazing special editions, I'm obsessed with them. They do have some leftovers that they're going to be listing on their site, I think coming up pretty soon here. So if you missed out, I'll link them down below. Definitely go check them out because they have a limited number left. And I don't think they have any plans to reprint them, but they do have some leftovers. And then if you want to complete the series, they are planning on doing books 3 and 4. They currently have books 1 and 2. Later this year, I don't have any dates or anything on that, but they are planning on finishing the series. The first 2 books originally came in their quarterly subscription box. The next 2 are just going to be like standalone, available on their site, so you won't have to be a part of their subscription to get those if you want to complete your set. As soon as I have news and a date and stuff, I will gladly share it with you, but I don't know any more than you do right now. And then I'm like stressed out this whole time because of the battery blinking, so this will be the last question for now. If I'm remembering correctly, Gracie is a side character from a previous book, or am I making that up? So Gracie is the main character of the book that I'm currently writing, which is going to be the first book in this new series. But yes, she has appeared in one of my books before. She was in the anti-relationship year as a side character. It's a little bit complicated. The anti-relationship year has 2 timelines, the freshman year and senior year of my main character Joe. Gracie appears in Joe's senior year as a freshman, and now in this new book, Gracie's book, I'm following Gracie after she's graduated college. These books are not going to be branded together. You don't have to read both of them, but if you read this one and you've read Terry, you will recognize Gracie. She's more of just like an Easter egg at this point. The series aren't going to be connected. Okay, I gotta go charge my camera. We'll talk later. Okay, so I finished chapter 12 and it's math. My chapter numbers are a little bit messed up because I kept adding chapters, so I'm not exactly sure how many I have. I think I have 49, including the epilogue total. Might be 50. This is going to my proofreader on August 12th, and I want to do another pass after I finish this stage, so I don't want to take all of that time to finish it. So ideally, if I finish this draft with the line edits in 2 weeks, I'll still have like a month left to do anything else that I want to do. Potentially get someone, another beta reader in to read it, do my own copy edit, and proofread, that kind of stuff. Maybe take a break to get away from it and get some distance before I jump back into reading it. Anyway, if I want to have this finished in 2 weeks with the remaining number of chapters I have left, this is how many chapters I need to do a day. 2 to 3 a day, which is basically the pace I've been working at, and it feels very doable to me. That's not very stressful for me, and it leaves me enough time after I'm done with it for it to not be stressful. If I do more than that, that would be great. If we finish earlier than that, that's fine, but that's kind of what I'm gonna be aiming for. And now it's helpful to have like a specific number in mind to help kind of gauge progress, because my word count isn't changing that much day to day, and just marking off like some random number of chapters a day, it's been feeling a little bit aimless. Now we have a goal to go for every day. So yeah, just finished chapter 12, one of my favorite chapters in the book, so that was fun. I also really like chapter 13. I think I've already done 3 chapters today, but I still want to keep working because I want to do 13, but we'll answer a few more questions. Do you ever worry you'll run out of book ideas? Is there a process you go through to determine which ones are worth writing? Not even a little bit. For the worrying if I'll run out of ideas, not even a little bit. Just because this is what I've done my whole life. Even when I was like a little kid in like 1st grade, I was writing stories and my teachers were helping me edit them, and it's been like non-stop. I've written like, I couldn't even give you like a number estimate of how many like random partially finished things I've done over the years, in the hundreds easily. So for me, apparently that's just like the way that my brain works. I always have random things coming to me and I get excited to write them, and if it has been consistent for the last 27 years, I don't know why it would stop now. So no, that's never been a concern for me. And a lot of times I think people think that writers, they're just like randomly inspired and an idea will like fall out of the sky, and sometimes that'll happen to me when I get like struck with inspiration like that. But sometimes I also kind of sit down and I'll literally write at the top of my journal page like what would be fun for me to write, and then I'll just do a bunch of bullet points of like elements that I would like, and then I start to build a story off of that. That's how the Marionettes series started. I was feeling a little bit in a rut and I was like, okay, so what would be fun? I want to write something that's like those paranormal romances that I loved when I was a teenager. I want to have witches and vampires in it. I want it to be kind of dark academia vibes, so I want it to be set at an academy, and like I just started from there and it grew from there. Is there a process you go through to determine which ones are worth writing? Not really. I don't feel like any of this is like a conscious decision process. It's more of just like instinct, and if this is the thing that's like I'm really feeling pulled towards it, I will kind of take a step back and think like logically and with my business mind and my backlist, like how are we going to market this, how is this going to fit into the publishing timeline, is this the best move for my career? So I do kind of have to think of it from like the creative aspect and then the business aspect. If you're excited about it, I think it's worth writing. I know you mentioned doing PR boxes in the future. I'm curious to know what all would be included if or when you start sending them out to certain book talkers and bookstagrammers. We'll see. I haven't fully decided yet. I've done this a few times now, and they've been simple for me up until this point. I don't include a lot in them. I say PR boxes, meaning it's mainly just the book, and then I'll throw in like some bookmarks, character art prints, stuff like that. I know some authors go like really big and get like candles and pens and all these things like custom made. I don't feel like I'm at the point in my career where I can justify spending that much money. It already feels a little stressful spending the money on the books and the boxes and everything, not knowing if that person's even gonna do the post. So mine are pretty simple. They usually just include the books. I'll wrap them up real nice, put a few extras in it like art prints and bookmarks and stickers and just like kind of smaller things. In the future, if I'm at a further stage in a career, this goes back to a question that was asked on yesterday's vlog about like author goals. If I got to the point in my career where I could justify like spending crazy amounts on my PR boxes and like going all out for them, I could have a lot of fun with that. I could get a lot of fun stuff made and have like the boxes customized and stuff. But right now I have to kind of rein myself in and figure out like what kind of costs are justified. I've just begun the process of writing. What is your best advice for outlining and plotting the story? I'm not a huge outliner. I do think it's helpful to know some of the main beats of your story. So you want to know like your inciting incident, midpoint, climax. If you're not already familiar with story structure, there's a million craft books that you can check out. There's a lot of free resources like here on YouTube of people going over it. I can link, I have a little like list of my favorite craft books in my Amazon storefront. I can link that down below. But I also think a lot of people don't realize just how much they already know about story, just kind of based on instinct. If you've been consuming stories all your life, like books and movies and TV shows and whatnot, you might not be able to like consciously explain like why this needs to happen at this point in the story, but I would trust your instincts. You probably know more than you think you do. For me personally, writing the rough draft is often me telling myself the story. So if anything, I do a lot of that outlining and plotting work after I have the rough draft and I figure out what's missing or what's not working. So my process is a little bit backwards. I guess in general, my best advice would be to figure out what works for you. Are you an outliner? Do you like having everything figured out ahead of time? Or are you more like me and you kind of just want to figure it out as you go? What are some author related decisions you've made that paid off in the long run? That's an interesting question. I think a lot of stuff is just like putting money into my books, knowing that I might not see a huge return on that until like a decent amount of time has passed and needing to be patient for that. Yeah, so like investing in good editors and covers and audiobooks and everything can be quite expensive, but like once you're done paying for all of that, like that book is going to be out there forever and continue to make money, and you'll make that money back ideally. Honestly, one of the biggest things was this YouTube channel, which wasn't even necessarily an on-purpose decision. I made this just as a booktube channel way back in 2016 for fun, and then when I did start publishing, it ended up being a really big help to help launch that. This one has kind of stumped me. I can't think of a good answer for it. If something comes to me, I will include it later. Do you have any advice about running ads to market books like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Amazon, etc.? I've had the most success with Facebook ads, and then they also go on to Instagram. They are more expensive right now with like the election and everything. There's a lot of free ad courses that you could check out. I'm definitely not an expert. I do have a couple of dedicated videos about my like learning process honestly with Facebook ads over on Patreon, but honestly I don't think I'm the best person to give advice. I'm still just kind of figuring ads out myself, but in my experience I prefer Facebook ads over Amazon ads, although I do run both. How did you know you were ready to start editing for other people? I want to start freelancing, but I don't know if anyone would give a first timer a chance. If you haven't already seen this video, I would recommend this one. This is all about how I started my editing business, how I got started. In short, yes, I did a lot of projects for basically free, really cheap when I first started out on Fiverr. I had also done beta reads and stuff before that. I also majored in creative writing in college, and then I also took some courses and whatnot after I graduated college. That video is probably the best place for everything editing related. Honestly, it's tough when people ask me like how I got started with editing and all of that stuff, because that was like 5 years ago for me now, and my memory's not awesome, so remembering exactly what I did back then, it's a little, I don't remember a lot. And I also just feel like the marketplace, like I feel like there's more people doing it now, so I feel like it's different than when I started like 5 years ago, so I don't know if the same things would work. Okay, I think I'm caught up on all of the questions. If I didn't answer yours, I didn't see it. So if you have any for tomorrow, feel free to comment them down below. We're gonna move over to chapter 13. Just moving right along. I'm really excited. I did reach out to the artist who's doing my character art, and she said she'll have a draft for me by the end of this week. It's Thursday, so I'm really hopeful. I'm really excited to see that soon. That is something that would be going out in these PR boxes. I am getting a piece of character art made, and this artist is a very different style than the artists I have used for previous character art, so I'm really excited to see it. I think it's gonna be really cute. I actually think I'm gonna end the vlog here so I can just edit this. So thanks for hanging out. Playlist is down below if you want to get caught up on previous days' vlogs. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Yeah.